Hey guys, happy Tuesday to everybody. I wanted to come on because I wanted to put little Monroe in a sleeper today. Even though it's going to be nice and hot outside, I still want her in something warm and snuggly. We have our air conditioning like blasting because it's been so humid here. So I'm taking off this really sweet Babadoo romper and putting her in a Jacquardie sleeper that I haven't had on her in quite some time actually. Forgot I had it. But going through, trying to reorganize my drawers, I always try to regularly go through, and it's a good thing I do. Honestly, it's a good thing because this is how I rediscover what I have. And it's important to know what you have because even though like you think you'd never not know what you have, right? Because you purchase it or you have it or whatever. But I've got so many things, so many different outfits, sleepers, and sorry if you hear the garbage truck coming down the... and my dogs will bark because they think someone's here for them, which there's not anybody here for them. But anyway, so you'd think you would remember like every single thing you've purchased or brought home for your babies, and yeah, no, I forget all the time what I actually have for her. It's actually pretty funny because some of these are like favorites of mine. That's like the romper I just took off of her. Completely forgot I have that. And I also have it in gray stripes. So I could put that on her at some point. I have a ton of rompers. I feel like rompers are my favorite. I've always said this, even very early on. I've always stated that rompers really are my favorite, hands down overall, for outfits. I mean, I prefer her in sleepers because that's still very true. Because she's cuddly in a sleeper and she's protected so you don't, hurt or damage the silicone when you're holding them and just, that sort of thing. So, but I buy dresses for her and she's got some really pretty dresses, but I rarely put her in dresses because I love the look of a romper because you can see their legs much better. And especially with this body style, I mean, let's face it, the style of the doll's body really dictates what we tend to put on them. At least for me, it does. It always has. And knowing what looks good and suits different dolls' body types matters. It matters to me. It matters what I choose to buy for each doll, depending on how their body is and how, especially like this leg being up all the time. If I put like certain like leggings or pants or things, it will come down. But it's naturally meant to be up here. So I've embraced that that's the sculpt. That's how she's supposed to be. And I love it about her. But I have to think ahead about the things and how the outfits that I would choose to put on her and how it'll look with these curled bent legs. And she is very much what reminds me of a true newborn in this sense, in her body style. And I've talked about this with my friends. Like, we've totally debated this. It's probably one of the reasons why I love this sculpt so much is simply because she reminds me of a very newborn baby in the sense of how her body curls up. And I don't know, and this might sound weird, but I feel like little newborns are like little squishy lumps. And I love that about newborns. I was very much all about embracing the newborn stage with my babies. I cannot wait for my kids to have their own babies so I can enjoy that newborn stage all over again when they're ready in the future. But it's just something about the way she feels because she's very compact, because her legs are curled up the way they are. It just feels the most realistic of a young newborn because they continuously draw up their legs because they're so used to being curled up in the womb. At least my newborns always had, like, for the first several weeks, they would always have their legs drawn up and curled up. And that's, I think, why I enjoyed this particular body style so much. I mean, that's the great thing about collecting and this hobby is that everybody likes a different thing. And a lot of people don't like the curled up legs, and they like a more lanky where you can straighten the legs out and pose them in different ways. I prefer this. I prefer this particular body type. I'm less likely and less inclined to be as attracted to babies that have long stretched out legs. I have also stated in many videos that with reborns, I don't like straight legs in reborns because reborns are stiff. You can't pose them. It's not like a silicone that has straight legs and you can bend them. With a reborn, you're stuck with it, and I just don't like straight legs. They just don't feel natural to me. It's just one of those things that I just can't get with. But for sure, each doll I've had over the years, I have always been very aware of their body type, and I learned this very, very early on. And maybe some of you out there are just discovering this, or you haven't even discovered it yet, but you will figure out that there are certain outfits that look better on certain body types, just like people, just like adult real people. All of her bodies are different. And because she's so chunky and compact and curled up, I have certain things that I really just don't like on her. And I just won't buy certain styles of clothing because she just doesn't, it just looks funky on her because of the curled up legs. And vice versa. I've had dolls that have longer, lankier legs that I wouldn't buy the things that I put her in necessarily. So something to keep in mind when you're buying dolls and when you're buying outfits for your dolls. Pay attention to what might suit the body type, because it really does help, tie it all together so that, when you picture an outfit on a baby, the best way to get it to look like what you pictured is to take into consideration their body style and body type. So something may or may not look as good depending on how they're sculpted, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So it's something interesting I've learned along the way. I've not talked about it a whole lot. I've talked about it here and there within videos, but never like a topic. But it's very important to know the body type, to know the style of what suits babies. Because not everything, everything looks cute on a baby, let's face it. But there are things that help make the baby look cuter, especially with silicone dolls during the summer. We love to see their skin. And so if I were to put a dress on her, it would literally cover up all of her legs and I wouldn't like it. And I've done it before. I've given it a shot. By the way, I'm putting this on her. It's just a sweet little Jacquerie sleeper, and it's a really pretty sleeper. I like the sleepers that button up the back because as much as I try to embrace like zippers, I just can't do it. I don't like zippered sleepers on babies. I don't care if it almost has to be too tight on the doll for it to lay properly and not bulge up and around. Any bit of room on a doll, it just bulges and it drives me crazy, and I can't deal with it. I just can't do it. So I've got a couple that are, cute sleepers, but I will never probably use them again because I can't get over how it looks. It just bulges. I don't know. It just, can't do it. And certain side snapped sleepers also bother me if it goes down the leg, especially with this sculpt. A straighter leg sculpt, it would not matter because it wouldn't bulge open. But because she's got the bent legs, it literally bulges open on whatever side the snaps go up the side of the leg. So I'm also not a fan of that. Although Jacquerie does have straight down snapped sleepers, which I have some of them, and they're not bad. They're not bad at all, actually, because they're straight down the center of her body. So you don't get that weird, bulgy, odd-looking way about it. I don't know. I'm a stickler for wanting things to fit properly. And depending on the brand, depending on the sizing, I think that's why I stick with Jacquerie, because I'm pretty sure about the way that things fit. And I'm not about other, like some brands, there's just no sizing consistency. I've tried certain brands, and it's not necessarily whether it's an American brand or If it's a foreign brand, it doesn't matter. It's just certain brands are all over the place in the way that they size their clothing, and it drives me bonkers. I don't understand sometimes why, oh why, do they think a newborn baby's head is like this big? Because that's how some of the that's how some of the hats are sized. And same with bibs, guys. What is up with bibs? Can someone please explain to me what the heck is up with bibs that are literally as big as the baby? Like, it's just one size fits all, and they think that bib manufacturers think that, I don't know, babies need to cover their whole bodies with them. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're just not meant for smaller babies, younger babies. I have no idea. But let me tell you, another huge pet peeve of mine. Like, I don't know. People love to judge and point fingers that I'm an elitist because I buy certain brands of baby clothes. But I buy the brands of baby clothes that I do because they are consistent with the way they size things. It's quality, yes, of course. Quality is beautiful. I love it too. But the biggest thing for me is buying from a company, a brand that is consistent with their sizing, so that I can rely on the fact that when I want to spend whatever amount of money on an outfit, I know it's going to fit my doll properly, because there's nothing worse than spending a shit ton, pardon my French, in shipping from someplace foreign, or even you can pay a lot of shipping in the US for certain brands. It's not just because it's foreign or international or whatever. And then you get the piece home and the sizing is just not consistent. It doesn't work. It doesn't, like, you know, it's like baby shoes. It's like buying sandals for newborns. Can't find anything that's a true newborn. It's very rare when you can actually find one that truly is sized for a newborn foot, even though it's labeled as newborn size. Also a pet peeve of mine. It's just things like that drive me crazy. And then I buy where I'm comfortable buying. I buy where I can rely on consistency, quality, so I know I'm getting my money's worth. And I know I'm going to be happy in the end. And that is important to me. Like, that's where I choose to spend my money. And that's part of the reason why I choose certain brands. And Jacquerie is one that, as long as I have purchased clothing from that brand, they have never let me down. I'm going to knock on wood. They've never let me down on the quality, the sizing, and their consistent, I don't know, everything across the board. Like, yes, they're definitely more expensive, but the number of other brands that I have tried, and they're not always cheap brands either. They're not inexpensive. They're not the most expensive, but over the years, I've tried several brands that are, you know, still you're spending your money, and it's a waste of my money because I've never been happy. I don't know. I'll spend my money where I think I'm going to get my money's worth, and I know that I'm going to be happy. And of course, style of the body really, really matters. Pay attention to it. If you're someone who really enjoys dressing your dolls, if you start paying attention to the body type, you will start noticing definitely certain looks that look great on some body types and not others. And then, you know, learn what brands out there are consistent. Because whether I spend $200 on, like, you know, 20 pieces from a more inexpensive brand, or I spend $200 on a few really special pieces from a more high-end brand, it really doesn't matter because I'm going to spend the same amount of money. It's just that I have less number of clothes that I'm super happy with, which I don't change her every day of the week. I don't need a ton of clothes. I'd rather have smaller number of special outfits that I really look forward to putting on her, versus, you know, drawers and drawers and drawers full of stuff that I'm not happy with how they look on her or the quality of or anything like that. So either way, I'm spending the same amount of money. It is what it is. I might as well be happy with what I'm spending. And this is going to drive me crazy. I'm going to have to iron that. It's from being in the drawer, even though I was very careful when I folded it up. But anyways, guys, that's my chat for the day. There is this adorable little sleeper. It's got little flowers and flower pots on it, but very pretty. It's going to be a gorgeous day here today, warm, but like I said, air conditioning's just blowing. It's blasting because we like to keep it very cool in here. But this is a good cuddle outfit. This is going to be an enjoyable outfit to pick her up and give her lots of cuddles. So I hope y'all are having a great start to your work week, if you're working. If not, I hope you're just having a great week. And Monroe and I will see you soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.